Hey guys, Mike here. So today we're going to talk about something that happens once a month. It's a very small window of opportunity, and maybe this is for gamblers. We'll have to see. You make your own judgment on that. But again, it's a very short window. It is an opportunity for those who actually know how to read charts and flows and things of that nature. So I want to put it out today because tomorrow this occurrence will actually be happening. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the charts, what to look for. Something that can give you an edge if you do look at this kind of stuff, and really show you, why this happens, more importantly, okay? And so when we get into this right here, you can see, obviously, we're talking about month end. This happens tomorrow, okay? And what happens, you'll see a lot of times, not all the time, but usually the last 20, 30 minutes, okay, you'll see a big move up in a short amount of time. You can see that one was over 1% in a very short amount of time there in April. And I'll basically take you through like all the different ones and everything. And when I look at this, maybe you notice something, but the one thing I always notice, if it consolidates in a range, usually you're going to set it for a big move, okay? If you end up actually just rocketing it for the day, then probably not. If you rock it down for the day, maybe. It's just iffy, okay? But especially if you consolidate. Now, again, doesn't matter, you gap up, gap down, all that fun stuff. And we'll pay attention just over the last few we've seen here. As you can see, this is March, and you're talking about usually you'll get either way from 0.3 to over 1% in a matter, again, 20, 30 minutes max, which, is, for those who don't know, I mean, S&P, that's a very big move in a short amount of time, okay? Sometimes it will continue through the bell. Sometimes you see this one, it ran up in like 10 to 15 minutes and then just started chopping, okay? And you can see this one, what it do, it basically grinded up all day long, okay? And that's what I've noticed when I see this. When you get this grind up all day long on a big move, I think it was a 2% move, then, of course, you might have a muted end of the month if that's what's happening, okay? This is February, as we can see right here. You can already see, I mean, it's going to be a very nice move up for sure. And so, again, I hadn't really found any correlation to, oh, look, it gaps up the next day, it gaps down. I haven't found any correlation in that whatsoever. And I've looked at many of these right here. And you can play this with futures or options, right? I like to play with futures on this. But, if you're an options person, obviously you're going to most likely buy the next day to make this happen and stuff. But, any options, especially like Tesla options, and some people have even tried this with Tesla options or, high premium type options, could be even better. I tend to like just to stick to the indexes, but that's just me. Let me know, if you ever played this before, what you think. And this shows exactly what I'm talking about, right? You got this big drop right here. In the middle of the day, I'm sure it had to be news. Something happened probably. You still get a decent move up. I mean, 0.39% right there in a whopping 10 minutes time frame. And so it's just one of those things, you got to get used to seeing this stuff and know when you're going to get out. That kind of have you plan well ahead of time if you're seeing this, okay? And notice how many times we go up versus how many times we go down. Like, keep track of that. You can see this right here is November. And if it's during the holidays, you can kind of forget about it, I've noticed, especially if it falls on a half day. Just forget about it. It's not even worth even trying to play it. Just go enjoy your holiday. That's really the best thing to look at. This right here, you can see nice pop up and then just absolutely implodes right there. And I mean, what is that, like 0.38% move in 18 minutes? I mean, again, if you look at the rest of the day, it was doing nothing. And now all of a sudden, you get these freaking exacerbated moves at the end. And I'll show you at the end why this happens. But, SPY right here, here's another one going back to September. Again, consolidates beside that little V right there, and then you get a nice 0.64% move up in the last 25 minutes. And if you look at the last 30 minutes, it's a 0.5% move. And so, for the SPY, if you're moving anywhere from 0.25 to 0.5% for the whole day, you're actually doing really well. And for those who are really good research, maybe you can correlate what happens at the start of the next month. I mean, I guess I'll have to dig more into that while I'm thinking about it. Again, you go ahead to August. Big move up right there in the last few minutes. And for those who track this, you've seen this, right? So if you're catching a 0.5% move in 15 to 20 minutes on an option or even in futures, like it's a decent chunk of change for sure, especially with a little amount of time. And you may think, which I thought at one point in time, I thought, wow, I wonder if the end of the quarter is like even bigger, because the end of the quarter, for Christ's sake. So you're talking about repositioning and everything else at the end of the quarter. But the truth is, it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. It's really all about month end. End of quarters, I really hadn't seen any difference when it comes to end of quarters, anything like that. And we'll just go through, like that was December 31st. Again, at the end of the year, don't even worry about that. Most people on holidays wouldn't even look at that. And again, you go to the end of March and you'll see the exact same thing. I mean, there's really just nothing going on. So end of quarter really to me doesn't matter. I don't see the move just because it's end of quarter, any bigger moves because it's the end of quarter. You would think that. But that's not what I'm seeing. Now, one thing that can help you out in this instance is the volume. Just pull it up. You can put it on a 1, 2, 3 minute, whatever. On a successful one, you're going to see this right here on a big move up or a big move down. Obviously, those would be green candles. I don't know what color they are. I'm colorblind. But you'll see a ramp up, right? Very, in the last 20, 30 minutes, you'll see a big ramp up. These are two successful ones that actually did move. And if it's going to be one of those ones that just ends up flat, it's going to look more like this right here where you see the bulls and bears just battling it out. See that volume is just green, red, green, red. Again, whatever color that is, I don't even know. But it doesn't matter. I know one's buying and one's for selling, right? And so, and it did nothing there. So that's really a big one. So, of course, if you're going to see a big push down, you'll see those red candles just ramp up and want to be bigger than the other as it goes. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Now, another big thing you can use here, call flow or put flow on Cheddar Full, Unusual Whales, Quant Data, all kinds of others. And sometimes you can see this. You'll see that call volume start pushing up right there at the end of the day. This is what happened in April. And that can give you a heads up. Say, oh, okay, calls are crossing puts. Now all of a sudden I'm seeing a surge. Yeah, here we go. And most of the time you'll notice it does go up because what does the market do? It goes up majority of the time. But that can give you kind of a heads up on that. You can see it right here. I mean, that's what happened in the end right there. I mean, 1.2% move in such a short amount of time is insane, by the way. And so, that can give you a heads up. The Qs, you can also play that as well. I mean, the Qs are going to follow usually the same as SPY. Sometimes one outdoes the other, but it depends on which one you like. But yes, you can do that. You can try it with Tesla. The truth is just because the SPY and QQQ are moving up doesn't mean Tesla's going to move up. Just keep that in mind. Now, of course, why does this happen? You can see it right here. In conclusion, the last 30 minutes, the last day of the month can be a period of heightened activity and potential volatility due to the confluence of institutional trading practices, closing auctions, and other factors. This can result in significant market moves, either reinforcing existing trends or potentially leading reversals. And you can see this is the percentage of daily volume by half-hour intervals. That is the opening. But believe it or not, look at the other side of it. Okay, so this is the close and auction, and you see it start to ramp up and ramp up. So, this is what you see. So I'm not just like making this up or anything. So the last half hour of the trading day is the busiest. You would think it'd be the beginning, but it's actually the end. And you can see right there after 10, like a lot of traders try to get done before 11, but you can just see it right there. I mean, from 10 to 3:30. Compared to the end of the day, is totally different. And of course, at the end of the month, obviously, this is much, much, much larger, okay? And so one thing you probably want to do is just start tracking it. I have a calendar reminder on my phone that says end of month today, look at the last 30 minutes. Again, sometimes you're going to get a big move, 0.3 to over 1% move. Majority of the time, it does actually go up when you go back and look at history and stuff like that. But again, maybe observe it, see how it goes. Go in there and paper trade just to see if you can actually do it or not. And what you're basically just looking at when you're looking at this thing, especially if you're really going to see it if you got call flow and put flow that you're looking at in real time. Like that's what's really going to show it. If you don't see anything going, odds are the market's not going to move that day, right? So that's really the big one. And then probably, I don't know, put in the comments, probably more for gamblers, right? And especially, like with futures, it's easier I believe to do it than it is with options. But you can set a nice little tight stop right there on a certain level, especially if you get the levels marked out and go with from there. But, you can definitely do it with options. You'll probably just do it the next day options for sure. I mean, I've done that before. And then just decide if you're going to close them out or not, if you want to gamble or not. But it is a phenomenon that does take place. So I'm not making that up or anything. I forgot even where I even came up. I don't know if I just noticed that myself or somebody told me about that. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. We appreciate it. Obviously, at this point in time, I should be in Glacier National Park still, heading to Yellowstone, I believe, in 2 days. So I'll keep you guys up to date. And I'm going to try to do some updated videos, depending on the internet and stuff like that. But we'll see how that goes. So hope you got something out of it. Please hit the like, subscribe button. Really appreciate all you guys' comments and support. And I'll see you guys on Saturday.